Today I want to briefly go over how to bloom a lesson using Bloom's taxonomy to change and differentiate a lesson. So let's pretend that I'm doing Animal Farm. We're going to do the themes, and what I would have done in the class is gone over each of these three. Wow, it makes my hand look huge. These three themes first. So 10-15 minutes of direct instruction, lecture style, where I'm explaining each of these and giving examples and so on. Then, to make sure they understand it, I'm going to get into Bloom's, which I have my handy-dandy Bloom's sheets. So, the most important part in blooming something is to know exactly what it is that you want every kid to know or be able to do at the end of that lesson. So, I know in my class, for these three themes, I want everybody to at least have a very cursory understanding of what each one means. That's what everybody has to get. So after I've spent 10-15 minutes, I'm going to have the students doing different things. So based on Bloom's. So here's remembering down at the bottom. So I actually prefer this style because it shows the verbs and then products. So for the one group in my class, I've got about 7 who are just barely able to understand those themes. So I want them to remember. So I'm going to ask them to, let's see, I'm going to have them define those three themes. Let me show you again. These three themes in their own words. So the societal tendency toward class stratification, the danger of a naive working class, the abuse of language as instrumental to the abuse of power. So I need students, if they're going to understand these, for these guys, these 7 students, I need them to be able to put those in their own words. So that's going to be their assignment for them. After I've explained it all, they're going to spend the remainder of the class defining or putting it into their own words, those 3 themes. And that will take them the rest of the class, the 15-20 minutes, to go into that. And sorry, now I want the next group, probably another 7 or 8 students, maybe even 9, can do that really easily. So instead, I'm going to have them do something a little bit different and more challenging for them. So I'm going to go to understanding and look. And I've already thought about this, yes, examples. So I'm going to have those 8-9 students create examples, or find examples of those 3 themes in a movie, another piece of literature, in real life, and then briefly explain how that example exemplifies those 3 themes. So for those, that's the average student, I suppose, can do that fairly easily. Now, when you're blooming something, you don't always have to go remembering, then understanding, and then applying. You don't have to. Just for me, those are very different skills. Redefining something or renaming it and finding examples are different enough for those 2 groups that it'll work. Now for my third group, these are the guys who, they're always reading. That's about 5 or 6 of them. They always read. They understood this when I was explaining it during the lesson, so they already get it. So I'm looking at applying, and I've already done this earlier, so I'm not going to do it on film here. But I couldn't find anything in there that was good. I went to analyzing. I didn't find anything that was appropriate for them. But then I went down here, and I realized that, you know what, I could have them simply evaluate each of the themes and determine whether these themes are good or bad, put that in quotes, whether they are actual or only in the book. It is a theme, a universal idea, so it should be everywhere. I'm also determining, I want them to figure out why do these 3 themes happen in real life, and are there ways to prevent it? So they're doing something radically different. For group 1, you're going to rewrite the theme in your own words, give a brief definition of each theme. Group 2, examples. Find 2 examples of each theme in real life, a movie or another piece of literature. Briefly explain the example and how it displays the theme. And the third group is evaluation. Evaluate each theme by explaining if it is good or bad, why they happen, why they continue to happen, and any ways to prevent them. And then I just gave them some simple boxes. Now what I'm going to do in this lesson is I'm going to have them work individually So I will call out those 7 kids, and I'll say, you, Jimmy, Jack, Sally, Paula, you're going to be group 1. I'm going to do the same thing with group 2 and group 3. All right? And that's how you move something. It's really that simple.